drugs has always been in my life, since I was a kid, since forever.
Yep.
And being around my dad, and like, it was like a way we were showing love to each other. Like, this is my last little bit of heroin. I love you so much that I'm going to give it to you. And it's just crazy to think.
It's like trauma bonding.
Yeah, yeah. And we were like fighting people together, ripping people off together. We're ripping and running together.
Committing crimes together, the whole
Yeah, I,
thing.
I love my dad, and ever since I was a little kid, I've always known that I love my dad more than anybody else in the world. And it's like he was my hero always,
Yeah.
and since a little kid looking up to him, somewhere in my subconscious it was like, he's cool. Like I want to get high to be cool like him.
Okay, we are back with another episode of Get a Grip podcast. We have Johnny Jermani with us from Michigan.
Yeah,
We're at Michigan.
Metro Detroit.
Metro, just outside of Detroit.
Right. Yeah, I know you heard of like 8 Mile or whatever from Eminem.
Yep.
In the music video, we're just north of 8 Mile. Like
Okay.
from 8 Mile up to like 32 is Metro Detroit, Macomb County.
And you grew up there your entire life?
Yeah, so I was in foster care. A lot of my childhood, my mom lost us to foster care 3 times. So I bounced around to like a bunch of different cities in Macomb County.
Was that young? How young were you?
My first time, my mom lost us to foster care. Well, just me. I was 3. My grandpa got shot at Macomb Mall and by the police.
Your grandpa?
My grandpa, yeah.
How old was your grandpa at the time?
I'm not exactly sure. My dad was only 3. And so his dad got shot at Macomb Mall by the police. They killed him. My dad got $1.5 million. So once my dad turned 18, he got the check. Got 2 checks. One when he was 18, and then he met my mom, whatever. They had me, and then that kind of fueled his addiction because I come from a long line of drug addicts on both sides. So when I was 3, they were coming home, and they seen the house getting raided. I was in the back seat. My mom was driving. My dad was in the passenger seat. And they were coming down the street, and my dad hurried up and hit the lever back and put his seat back, and he was like, "Go, go, go." And then my mom tried to drive away, but the cops got right behind them. They were raiding the house for they're selling drugs,
Sure.
doing drugs, having a drug house. So they took off. My mom tried to pull over. My dad put his foot over the thing and drove from the passenger seat and got in a high-speed chase. So there was like, I don't know the whole, I just what I've been told, like looking
Hold
online.
on, were you in the
I was in the car.
You were in the car at
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, 3 years old.
Jesus.
So he got to a fence. He said he was looking just for somewhere he could like get to a fence and jump or whatever.
and
He got to a
run.
fence. And he said he went and he tried to jump and he was so weak from using for so long that he couldn't even pull himself over. And he had sweatpants on and they grabbed him and they pulled his pants down. So like his dick was hanging out and stuff with it. They handcuffed him, put him in the back of the car. And they said, my mom and dad both said this, when I got pulled out of the car, I was going, bad boys, what you gonna do? And then I went to foster care.
Cops. Jesus Christ. So that's, wow.
Yeah.
That's what you were exposed to at that young of an
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So you said you have addiction on both sides of your family.
Yeah.
Start with your dad's side.
So my dad's side, I'm not really sure much about it. I don't really know,
Other than your dad.
Other than I never met my grandpa, so,
Right.
or his mom, they both died. My grandpa got shot, and then my grandma, I think she might have OD'd or something, I don't know.
Damn.
And then my dad was using drugs his whole life, and then,
Is he still around? Is he in prison?
he's still using.
He's just out there?
Yeah, he's just living in Detroit somewhere, I don't know. But my mom, she passed away. She killed herself. I came home and found her dead on the couch. So that's right after that is when I started using. I was in foster care from 3 to 8, and then she lost us again from I came back when I was 8, and then she lost us again when I was like 13, and then got me back when I was 16, and then when I was 16, I got locked up and went to juvie, and then got out when I was 18. But while I was in there, she lost my little sister, so that was the third time.
How
But
many
I was already in
siblings do
juvie.
you have?
I only have 2 sisters, one on my mom's side, one on my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the third time while I was already locked up. But when I was 18, I came back to her anyway because I got out of juvie and
Yeah.
I went over there and then I was living with her. And then when I was 21, uh, came home and found her dead.
God almighty. I lost my mom to an overdose, but I didn't find her. My dad did.
Right.
And I mean, I can't imagine finding my mother like that. I'm sorry. That's awful. And I have to imagine that, like you said, you started using after that, but that had
Yeah.
to have really fucked with your
She
head.
was like schizophrenic and she was doing really bad. She was only 42. And she was schizophrenic, doing really bad. She would like follow. This is when I was started rapping and all that, and she was like following the radio, thinking that I was hanging out with like Eminem and stuff like that, because she was so out of it. And she tried to kill herself like 6, 7 times,
Jesus.
and I kept having her admitted,
Yep.
because I wanted to
Smart.
help.
Yeah,
And she would
fuck
go to the
yes.
mental hospital, and I'd come up there and visit her. I'd even sneak her cigarettes in, and whatever, just
Yeah.
trying to ride with
Yeah.
her through it. But she told me like she knew she couldn't say she was gonna kill herself to me because then I would get her admitted.
Right.
So she started saying, "I'm gonna be gone. You need to learn how to do this. Do you know how to pay the bills at the house? You know how to do this." I'm like, "You're not going anywhere, man." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I'm about to go to prison for 18 years, so I need you to know how to do all this stuff." Like trying to show me in advance. I was like, "Why are you going to prison?" She's like, "I threatened somebody on Facebook." And I was like, she was just trying to let me know. So
Yeah.
I went to a concert, and then that night she withdrew all of her money out of the bank, had it sitting there for me. She gave the night before she had like gave away all of her jewelry to my little sister, and then she killed herself. But she OD'd, but she did it on purpose. Like just laid down
Yeah.
and did it. Like had the
Right.
money there for me, and she prepped me before it and all that. So yeah, it was crazy.
God, dude. So you're what age when that happens?
21.
21.
Yeah.
What happens next? I mean, what do you do? Because now you're parentless at 21.
Right.
I know I was parentless at 33, which is still young, but 21 is much much younger than 33.
Right.
I mean, you're barely an adult.
Right.
What do you do?
Well,
What?
I feel like naturally I just wanted to be around my dad now because my mom was gone. I got the house, and so I started trying to go hang around with my dad. And
Oh, is dad still kind of
he was getting high
in
the
the
whole time.
picture?
I was in contact. I'm still in contact with him to this day, but
Oh,
he's been
okay,
getting high his
okay,
whole
okay.
life.
I gotcha.
It's not like I don't know where he's somewhere in Detroit getting high. That's all I know.
Okay.
And then so I was like, Dad, where you at? Let's hang out. And I mean, this is just the truth of what it is. He's not gonna like hearing this, but this is the truth of what it is. He knows it's true. Um, Starting to hang out with him, he introduced me to crack. He got me to smoke crack for the first time, and then I did it, and I was up all night, and I was just like, I don't like this feeling, man. I was so mad. And he's like, you know what you need to do? And he was standing, we were in a hotel. He's like, you need to come do this, and pointed at the table. I knew instantly it was heroin.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. And he's like, man, I'm your dad. Would I tell you to do anything that's bad for you? And I'm
Would
just
I
like,
lead you down the
I
wrong
felt
road?
safe, so I did it. And then that was what I fell in love with was heroin. I'm like, this feeling is awesome.
So you skipped straight over the pills.
Well, I had been dabbling with pills since I was little. My mom's mom,
Yeah.
she would give me pills. You couldn't tell her anything. You said, "Oh, I got a stomach ache." She'd give you a pill. I'm so tired. She'd give you a pill. Oh, I got a lot of energy. She'd give you a pill.
Jesus.
I OD'd off of Oxycontin when I was 12 from my grandma
Really?
giving me pills. So I had been taking pills from my grandma already forever. So I was already familiar
Wow.
with that. Yeah.
Wow. Take me back to the first time you used
First time I used anything.
anything, or drank, or smoked, or whatever the
I
case may
know
be.
when I was in third grade, third or fourth grade, they put me on Adderall or Ritalin. I think it was at first, Consent or Concerta or whatever.
Yeah.
We went on that. I hated it. That's the first time I did like a narcotic.
But that wasn't really like recreational. That was a
Right.
prescription.
And then I think when I was like about 13 or 14, I was smoking weed, stuff like that. But even before then, like just my grandma had a top drawer full of pills, and I would just go in and
And we're talking like
pain
oxys.
pills. Like, well, these were Narcos, the one or Tylenol threes and
Yeah.
Narcos. She had all
Okay.
in her top drawer, and I was so little, I'd reach up and I'd be like, and I could feel them all loose in the drawer, and I'd grab them and just eat them.
Damn.
So I'd say around so 4th grade, Concerta, and then probably like 6th grade started doing that. Like so 12 probably taking those pills, and then third or 12, yeah, that's when I overdosed off the Oxycontin too. And then
God.
yeah, from then on, then I just got into weed. Then I started taking pills with my friend, ecstasy. We started drinking, and yeah.
Selling drugs?
Was I selling drugs?
Yeah,
Not
dude.
during that time as a kid. I mean, I sold a little weed as a kid.
Yeah.
Once I got older and I got into my addiction, I was selling meth and heroin. But what everybody says is there's a fine line between being like a gangster drug dealer and being a desperate drug addict.
I say
You
that
know
all
what
the
I'm saying?
time.
So
Yep.
like, you do what you have to do to stay high. It's not like I was like selling bricks like
Yes.
Scarface or anything like
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
was
you
just
for admitting that, because
yeah,
I was the exact same way. I sold drugs and I was good at it, but I was not moving bricks.
yeah,
I was just, and this was like early on, like 18, 17, 18, still in high school. I did it after high school too. I was pretty good at it, really, but the addiction eventually just took me down.
yeah.
Like, kill off all my customers, rip them all off.
Absolutely, yeah. You gotta do
Fucking,
what you gotta do to survive.
that's how it went. You
I
know.
got told on one of the last times I got arrested. I was selling. I had a warrant for my arrest, and I was on the run. And I was selling meth and heroin and Xanax, cutting the shit out of it. I would put Seroquel in it. I'd put white Xanax bars in it. I'd put Standback. Do you know what Standback is?
No.
I know we got it in Detroit. A lot of people aren't familiar with it, but it's like a headache powder. You can buy it at the gas station for like 50 cents, and it's white. I was cutting it with that. If you know who your snorters are
Really?
and you know who your shooters are, there's a lot more you can get away with.
Sure.
So cutting it with all that, these two twins set me up, and I sold them to them the night before. The next day I re-upped, and I would get an 8 ball of ice for like $40, $45, and I'd sell a gram for like 100, 80, 100. So I was like, yeah, I re-upped. I got some stuff and I was cutting some stuff up on the little table, giving some heroin too. And all of a sudden they're like, Warren Narcotic. Warren's a place in Macomb County.
Okay.
Warren Narcotics Department. Boom. So right when they did that, I flipped the thing over. I grabbed my 8 ball of ice and I threw it in this tall Ziploc baggie like this. In the baggie, it had the 8 ball of meth, 2 other grams of meth, a gram of weed, a gram of heroin, Seroquel, Xanax, and Neurontin. Because I knew I was on the run, and I had this baggie on. I knew if I'm getting arrested, I'm putting this in my ass crack. You know what I'm saying? And bringing it into jail so I don't got to be sick.
Yep.
So that's what I did. Luckily, they went to my dad's room first because me and my dad were hanging out getting high. Went to my dad's room first. I had enough time to put it in my ass crack. And I came out the room like, what's the problem? They put me on the floor. All I had was my phone and my wallet on me. And every time I'd get arrested, I'd say, oh, I'm ODing. You know what? Truth time. I took 17 fentanyl bars when you guys ran in. I'm ODing. So then you got to act like you're ODing. And they try to wrap your chest. And they're going to hit you with Narcan, which sucks too. I don't know if you've ever been hit with Narcan.
I've been hit with Narcan many times, yes.
And they're like, this girl's telling me, we're all sitting there handcuffed. She's like, they're going to hit you with Narcan. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I got to.
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Yeah.
And went in the hospital. They handcuffed me to the bed. I had dreadlocks at this time. And I had a bandana around my head. And I'm all tatted up. They pulled, because I was freaking out once they Narcan me, handcuffed to the bed. They pulled my hoodie up over my head until they could find a spit mask. Then pulled that behind, like my hoodie behind me, and put the spit mask on me. I'm handcuffed to the bed, freaking out. And they're wheeling me in the hospital.
Damn.
But I had all the stuff in my ass crack. Now it's a good thing that you can do. You can say, oh, I'm suicidal, and they'll keep you in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? But they strip you when you say that. Make sure you don't got nothing on you. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I say I'm suicidal, then I go to jail, and then end up getting a
eventually
charge?
you're going to go no matter what, though, right?
Well, they let you go, and then you just have the warrant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least that's how they do in Detroit.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm just going to go to jail. And I had all the stuff in my ass crack, brought it right in the jail. You know what I'm saying?
No problems.
No problems. I'm not going to lie, man. I had to shove it up my ass once I got in the holding cell because we have a body scanner.
I've been there, too.
But I do what I had to do, and I shit it out in the cell, you know what I'm saying? And then I didn't sell none. I mean, I probably gave somebody like a couple of little hits or whatever, but I was trying to not be sick.
No, keep that shit for yourself.
Yeah.
Really, I'm shocked you told somebody, because once word gets out in jail that somebody's got shit on them, it can get dicey.
Yeah.
People come after you and shit.
In Macomb County Jail, a lot of people are bringing stuff in.
How was that experience for you? Your first that wasn't your
That
first
wasn't my
time?
first time. I was a veteran at that time, learning everything from my dad. He's like, you gotta put it up your ass and bring it in the jail if you get pulled over, whatever. So I already knew the game, you know.
Go back to the first time you went to jail. Your first time you were incarcerated. What was
First
that
time I
for?
went to jail, I got caught with a gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd already been to juvie and stuff when I was a kid, but the first
Mhm.
time I went to jail, I was arguing with my girlfriend. I had my gun on me at 9, and we were arguing in the basement of her apartment complex, make a long story short, and then she had gave me triple C's. You know what that is?
Uh,
Chlorocidin cough medicine.
yeah,
It
yep,
makes you
yep,
sleepy.
yep.
So I thought she meant like triple stacked ecstasy. You know, I was only like 18, 19 or whatever at this time. So I took them and then I got super sleepy. What did you give me? Triple C's. I'm like ecstasy? And she's like, no, it's like cough medicine. I'm like, wow. So I'm so fucked up and I got my gun on me. I'm just trying to leave. She found out I was hooking up with another girl. And
Oh, Christ.
yeah, we're arguing about it. So it's an apartment complex basement. So a couple comes down out of the room. You guys are. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. Go upstairs. Mind your business. Well, he went upstairs and called the cops. Cops came down there. I'm so out of it. I'm still arguing with her. I'm like, da 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 da. Cop comes up to me and he immediately tries to pat me down. And I smacked his hand. I'm like, are you detaining me? And I stepped back and I pulled my pants out like this.
Oh, boy.
And so the gun would go. I had jeans on and went down to my shoe. The gun went. It's a big ass gun though. I was like, "What are you detaining me?" And he's like, "Yes, we are." Try to pat me down. I smacked his hand. I was like, "What are you detaining me for? You can't detain me without a reason." Put the handcuffs on me. But the gun's right here now. It's not in my waistband, which is what they were reaching for.
You're
So,
lucky, man. When you grabbed for your waistband, they didn't fucking.
well, I end up getting caught anyway. But
Yeah.
so I'm handcuffed, and then I know that they know I got something because of how I'm acting. So I'm like, all right. I got a fake ID in my wallet. I didn't want you guys to find it. You know, quick thinking, which I did have somebody else's ID. So they were like, okay, stop searching me. Sat me down. Got the ID out. And they're like, what are you on right now? Where's the dope? I was like, and that time I hadn't done any dope yet, you know. I was like, look, I took triple C's. You know, the baggie's right there. I drank it with that drink. Da-da-da-da. The one cop, he's looking right at the one standing up. One's on his knee in front of me. And they sat me down on the plastic chair. And one cop's looking right at the gun, dude. I'm just like, oh, shit. And the other cop's like trying to talk to me. You gotta change your life. You're out here doing these drugs and stuff like that. What's wrong with you? You know, and I'm just like, yeah, you're trying to go with it. And the other cop's like, take off your right shoe. And I'm just like, took my shoe off. And the gun was like, clack, clack, clack.
Fall straight out.
And cop's like, are you serious? And he's like, I'm like, man. He's like, you're going to prison. I'm like, well, let's go now. Fuck. We're caught now. I'm like, let's fucking go, man. What the fuck's the point of talking about it? Obviously, I'm caught. Let's go. But I wasn't a felon yet at that point, so I just got a carry and conceal weapon. So, but I still had to do a year in jail and then 3 years high to probation.
You did a year in the county?
Yeah, well, I went to jail for a couple of days, bonded out, fought it for like 7 months, and then when I got sentenced, they made me do a year in the county with 3 years high to probation. A lot of people don't know the law. Now, they think that like, oh, you get caught with the gun, no matter what happens, wherever you go, it's automatic 2 years. That's not the case. If you
gun's back.
If you get convicted, and that's just convicted, not charged. If you get convicted of a felony firearm, then you have to do a 2 flat. If you're convicted of a felony firearm, and I just got a CCW because I wasn't a felon yet, and a felony firearm is a felon in commission of a felony, you know, with a firearm.
Right,
You could have felon in possession of a
Weapons
firearm.
under disability. Yeah.
Right. It's different. I know the law because I've been through. I got 13
Yeah.
felonies. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was the first time I went to jail. Did that year there. And then when I got out, you know, my buddy was the one telling me, like, oh, everybody's talking about crack in jail and stuff. And I'm like, damn, Siri's listening to our conversations, dude. What the hell?
No shot, no surprise there.
Oh, wow. But yeah, and then he was the one who suggested, doesn't your dad like smoke crack or whatever? Let's hang out with him. And then that's when I hung out with my dad, smoked crack, and did the dope and stuff. But I went to prison, too. You know, prison's way different than jail.
Yeah, but still, a year in county is. I would have
Ew.
rather go to prison than a year in county jail.
I mean, but when you go to jail, you have a...
Also, I don't know what your county jail is like over there. Ours is fucking 24-hour lockdown here in Franklin.
Oh, yeah. See, if it was that, then that's a whole different story. We don't have
Yeah.
24-hour lockdown.
Yeah.
You guys can't come out of the cells or nothing?
No, you don't go outside, no fresh air, no gym, no rec, no nothing.
Yeah, we don't get no gym or rec or nothing like that, but we got a unit. We can come out, play cards, watch TV. We got tablets with music. You can call.
Oh,
We got visits and stuff like that, like over the screen visits on the
yeah,
VizBox.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah, when I went to prison for the first time, um, I was on probation for that HIDA, and then was started getting high with my dad, and we were ripping and running. And I remember I violated one time, thinking like, okay, it's not gonna be no big deal. Well, they're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna terminate the HIDA probation, put you on regular probation with zero, opportunity. If you fuck this up, you're going to prison.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, whatever. A month later, I got a retail fraud and went in front of a different judge. It was a sit-in judge.
What'd you get retail fraud for?
Stealing baby formula.
Okay. Yep.
You steal baby formula, which is like $30 a can.
Common. Very
And then
common.
you sell it in the hood.
Yep.
It's all the like Arab dudes there, and they give it to you $5 a can.
Yep.
Yep.
Been there.
Yep. So you come in with like 30, 40 cans though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're straight for the day.
You're good.
So I only had stole like three cans just to like get right real quick, $15,
Yeah.
and then got flicked getting on the highway, and then I bonded out actually the next day. It was like $100. My dad came and got me.
So they knew it was you and they pulled you over on the highway and
Man, this is in the midst of my music too. I've been making music this
Mhm.
whole time, so like I had some fans online. I was like, I need a ride, and they didn't know I was going to steal. So I went to Walgreens and then went inside and we stole real quick and we left. Actually, the lady came outside from the Walgreens like, hey, I'm like, what? I'm like, man, you're crazy. And I just got in the car and they're like, did you steal something? I'm like, no, man, just go. But like, hurry up, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, you didn't steal nothing, we're fine. And they're just jamming out to music and stuff. I'm just like, oh, stressing out. And then like they're slowly taking their time. We finally go to get on the highway and then the cops pulled us over.
yeah.
My dad got me out. But a month later, I went in front of the judge and they see what I'm on probation for, which is my carrying a concealed weapon. And it was a home invasion at the time too. Like I had both the cases, and they're like, "Oh, you're violating probation on a felony probation. You're going to
It's
prison."
over with.
So for that retail fraud, violating probation, I went to prison for 1 to 5, and then
How long did you sit for?
I waited a little bit over a year, and I had to do a program and all this stuff. Got out and was out, and then like went on the run immediately. Was out for a year on the run.
Was prison cool? I mean,
Man, the prison I was at was cool. You could
Yeah.
have dogs there. People are walking on the yard with dogs. You have a TV at the end of your bed with cable. You can. You could walk outside whenever you want. There's different units. I was in JCS.
what's the gang scene like?
There's like Latin Kings, Maniacs, GDs, Cobras. I'm a Maniac Latin disciple. When I went to prison, I became a Maniac. And that's like, that's with the baby blue, all my stuff's baby blue. That's our color. And started doing that when I got to prison, they became fond of me and I was standing up for myself and they're like, you got heart. So, started messing with them and then making music with other maniacs and stuff. They're really big in the music scene. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple bros that are like getting millions of views and stuff. So
Really?
I fit in perfectly over there.
So it worked out.
Yeah. So then every time you go back now after being in a gang, you got to announce yourself. You're like, oh, what's up? Where's my bros at? I'm a maniac. This is my name. Whatever. You run down your lit, all that stuff. Yeah. They started in Chicago, but we got a Michigan chapter in Grand Rapids, Southwest, in Southwest Detroit.
You have a what?
We have like a chapter for Maniacs. It started in Chicago. But we have a chapter of Maniacs in Southwest Detroit and in Grand Rapids.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So you get out
Mm-hmm.
and you were saying you went straight back to it?
Straight back to it, yeah. Man, I was doing some crazy stuff. Actually, I got a story I want to tell you. When I was out there getting high, so this is one of the craziest stories I got, man. When I was out there getting high, we were like, I evolved from doing fentanyl. We're doing what was heroin. Now we're doing fentanyl, smoking crack, and shooting meth. So
Okay.
I'm snorting fentanyl, smoking crack, and shooting meth. We're shooting meth like all the girls that you're shooting meth with, they're trying to fuck. So yeah, that was just like a thing we were doing,
Yeah.
shooting meth together. And I'm having a threesome with these two girls. And the one girl that she's gonna hear this too. She's still on my Facebook, but she's clean now too, so she's doing the right thing. But had a threesome with these two girls. We shot some meth. We started having the one's giving me, And then I stand up really quick and I get some heroin and I like had it on this little shelf above. I'm standing on the bed and there's a shelf on the bed and I snorted this line of heroin. I laid back down and the girl's giving me and the other girl's in my face and I OD'd while she was in my face, bro. And then the girl that was giving me said that she's the one that noticed because I was like my dick went soft and like
Yeah.
I was like making a noise or something. And then she was like, "Get off of him! He's OD'd!" And they Narcaned me. And I just remember waking up, and I'm like, and then like the dope man's there. Like we were out, we weren't in the hood, but we had a dope man living there selling dope too, and it was just like a party house, you know. And I woke up, and the dope man's in the doorway, standing there, and both the girls are naked, covering their titties and shit. They're like, and I'm the first, and I got ice. I'm naked too. I got ice just covering my, and I'm looking, and I immediately realized, I'm like, "Did you guys fucking Narcan me?" That's the first thing I said. They're like, "We had to." I'm like, "Motherfucker!" and just start punching the dresser, you know. And realized I still had that heroin. Got up and did the rest of it to feel better because that
Yeah.
Narcan
Narcan,
sucks.
yeah, it's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, so
Straight into withdrawal.
yeah, dude, and you're like yawning.
It's
I
horrible.
got an idea for some content, man.
It's horrible.
We should go around and Narcan people in the hood, just unsuspecting victims. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know if that's legal. I don't know. Is that legal? Like what? Just random fucking
Yeah,
homeless
just like-
people? What?
yeah.
What the fuck?
You go to the people you know are addicts. We know who's addicts. You go, you put your, "Hey man, what's going on? You want to take a picture with me? I'll give you
How the
20
fuck
bucks.
are you gonna hit their nose with that
Put
shit?
your arm around them. You're like, get them really quick. That would go
Dude,
viral.
get your motherfucking ass beat.
Yeah, for real. People are not gonna like that.
No,
Yeah,
no, not at all. So,
for
Okay.
sure.
hell of an idea.
Or you offer them money. Say, "Hey man, I'll give you $100.
Yeah,
Let me
man.
Narcan you."
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They're
that's
gonna go
true.
for it.
For $100 they would. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Okay, so all that fucking crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep walking me through this.
Okay. Going through that, I ended up getting in a high-speed chase, and you can see the video of it's on YouTube. If you type in Johnny Jermani gets tased, there's a video. I'm up for like 4 days on ice. Just driving my friend's car, and I was about to drive to my friend's dad that's in jail and give him some money for his commissary. And all of a sudden, a cop gets behind me, and it's actually the girl I'm dating at the time's cousin that hates me because we're getting high together, and her cousin's a cop.
You the cop.
I'm a street away from her house. I'm not even really going over there. I'm just passing by, but that's how I knew it was her cousin. He got behind. He had somebody else pulled over, seen me, and got behind me. And I had just been in a high-speed chase where my friend was driving, so at this point, I seen him get away, and I was like, "Oh, you can do it. If you just drive erratic, you can get out of it," you know. So in my head, I had it like I'm driving crazy and gonna lose him. So I had to psych myself up, and I'm sitting there at the wheel when he's behind me. I'm just like, just like that, and I look, and I know he probably gonna hear me. I'm like, "Let's go, bitch," because I ain't stopping. You know what I'm saying? Just to psych my own self up. And I turned. I was at 9 Mile and Kelly, or Stevens and Kelly. I turned down Kelly, headed towards Detroit. You know, because we're right north of Detroit. If you go in Detroit, the cops don't care as much. But I go down and I act like I'm doing a turnaround and I drive on the incoming lane of traffic and I'm flying and there's a red light and I just closed my eyes and blasted through it, you know. But when I went over like the median, it popped at least one of my tires. One or two, it felt like all of them were flat, but at least one of them were popped for sure. And my hatch flew open, so laundry baskets are coming out. And it's insane.
Jesus.
And I'm just flying like this. Little did I know, once I read the PSI later on, they radioed ahead to Harper Woods, which is in Detroit. And they radioed ahead like, "We gotta, you know, whatever." But they turned their lights off and fell back. So I'm like, "Oh, I might be good. I'm just trying to find somewhere to park the car and run." But there's a white truck following me. And I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?" So I just get over because he's like flying. I'm like, maybe he's just trying to get around me. So nope, he's standing next to me. It might have been undercover. Who knows?
Unmarked.
So I take off again. And I get to a red light, and I'm just like, "Man, dude." And there's like a bridge, 94, 7 Mile. There's like a little bridge. You go over 94 over by Moros. And the light was red, and I'm behind this Jeep, and it turns green, and then he doesn't go. He stays right there. And that white truck comes back from behind me, and they both lock me in. So I'm trying to push him off, drive, reverse, trying to push this guy off. I was in a black SUV, like an Envoy or something like that.
With
I'm like,
two bad tires.
yeah, at least one for sure, but it felt like all of them. You know, it felt like maybe a couple, I don't know, but for sure something popped because you could feel it. And I said, fuck it, and got out on foot, and I ran. Now, this is when people started recording, because I just happened to have a knife in each pocket. Okay, so when I ran on foot and I ran over the bridge, I got to the other side. Harper Woods Police, East Point Police, Detroit Police, all got their guns out on me, and I popped the knives out of my out of my pocket. I put them in my throat, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. Back up, you know. I don't want to go to jail, and like I don't.
Yeah, what are you thinking here?
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
the
I'm just like,
plan?
I'm gonna kill myself. Everybody back up. Now this is when they start recording. People are like, what the fuck? So this is what you see, and for like 15 minutes, dude, I had a standoff with the police. And you can even see in the video that it's going on for a while. And I'm just making up a story. I'm like, you don't know my life, man. I was on my way to kill myself, and you guys stopped me. You ain't gonna stop me from killing myself. My dog chewed my baby's face off and killed my baby. And then my wife left me before, and they put my dog down. I got nothing to live for. And I made all that up, just pulled it out of my ass. All of a sudden, I like dropped the knife's down a little bit, and they hit me with the taser. And I fell, they handcuffed me, but they put me in an ambulance. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get away with this. And they took me to the hospital. I had a girl sneak me some dope up there, you know, because I'm in the hospital now at this point. They told me, tell the doctors what you told us. I told them, I'm in the hospital. They let me make phone calls. They're treating me like a normal person in the hospital. Let me make a phone call. Call this girl and like, bring me some dope up, and we do it prison style. She's got the dope in her mouth. We're eating chips. She brought me some chips, and she puts the dope in the bag of chips, and then I'm taking like I'm eating. I put the dope in my mouth, and I go to the bathroom so I can do some of it, and then I realize I don't got nothing to break it up or whatever. It's a whole gram, and I'm like, I need a card or something. So I turn around. I'm like, hey, let me use your card so I can make a line.
It's
you know,
powder.
Yeah,
Powder hair. Okay.
Yeah.
China.
It was like brown,
Okay.
tan. And I'm like, let me use your credit card or something so I can. She gives it to me, and I put it under my armpit and walked out. They seen that hand-to-hand transaction, and they were watching me. They didn't see the dope in my mouth. So they all ran up on me for the card. What did you got? What do you put in your armpit? And I was like, it's just a card, man. Whoa. And then they're like, why are you giving him a card? And I just backed up and let them all like interrogate her for a second. And I walked to the phone in the hallway, and I called my dad, and he's like, you're on the news. What did you do? And they're all just paying attention to her as I'm on the phone. I just hang up and walked out. You know, so had that warrant on me, and I was just going crazy, always telling the cops I was ODing, and they take me to the hospital. I just get more and more warrants racked up. Finally, all that caught up to me, and I went to jail. And they were like, your last chance is you getting put on drug court, you know? And I was like, I didn't want to. In my head, I'm like, I'm just going to get high right when I get out. And somewhere I decided, I'm just like, man, it's time for a change. You know what I'm saying? I like I told you, I had the dreads. In jail, I stole a razor, cut all my dreads off with the razor just to like symbolize my change. You know, and I'm like, I'm changing everything about myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually giving this a chance. Went on drug court, and I ended up doing it and completing it and staying clean the whole time.
Drug court's tough. I did drug court too.
Yeah.
I completed. It's very intensive. The most intensive type of probation you can probably get.
Oh my God. You got to go to court once a week.
Yep. Probation officer once a week.
Yeah.
You're pissing in a cup 5 times a week.
Yeah. 90 meetings in 90 days.
It's a lot.
It's insane. So, yeah, I ended up just sticking with it, man. And I was like, let me just see. You know, I got forever to get high. And I've always been smart, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm just going to stay clean for this little bit of time. I ended up getting a good job, you know, and I'm actually kind of making some money. And I'm like, okay, I like this feeling. I'm at least I'll get high when I get off probation.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
And I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I actually started saving up drugs and having them in my place, you know.
Like ready to go.
Yeah, for when I get off probation. I got crack, I got heroin, I got meth. I'm like saving pills, you know, still kind of hanging out with some of the same people a little bit. And I saved up like a little bowl. And then at some point, like after a few months go by, you know, I'm like, what am I doing? I want to stay clean, man. I'm like, look at everything I'm accomplishing. I've started getting a vehicle, get my own place, you know, making some money.
Feels good. Yeah.
Get back into my music, you know. And I just said, fuck it. I gave away those drugs, threw them away, and then stayed clean. And now I'm never looking back, you know. It changed everything about my life.
God damn. What was I going to ask you about drug court? What was the drug court? How were the phases? How did it work?
It was like, phase 1, you go to court once a week. Okay, you got to do 90 meetings in 90 days. You're dropping like every day. You got to do one-on-one group therapy with a counselor and a group counseling so both of those a week. And it's just like, you always have something to do. You're like, what about a job? They're like, we don't care about a job. This is your job for right now. You
For the
know?
first phase, yeah.
Yeah, for the first phase. Second phase, they give you a little bit more leeway. You know, you got to come to court every other week. And then go to meetings, 10 times or whatever. Who knows? I don't, something like that. Phase 3, you come to court once a month. And then you're dropping less.
Did they make you get a job at any point?
Um,
Is that like a part of it, employment?
I think you're supposed to, like, it's part of it, but I just got a job right when I got out anyway. I've never had a problem getting a job or making money. I've always wanted to make money somehow. So, yeah, it's probably a part of it for sure, but I got it right when I got out, so
Yeah.
that wasn't a problem. I was working for my godfather doing concrete raising, you know. And then phase 4 is just like, we know you're about to graduate,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
pretty chill.
Yeah.
And
So,
especially if you're doing what you're supposed to do at that
Right.
point, it's
Yeah.
cake, honestly.
yeah.
So you never fucked around. I fucked around and tried to get high during drug court for the first year, and it was miserable.
Oh, and they were,
Some miserable hell trying to beat the drug tests and all that
Yeah.
shit. It sucked so fucking bad, dude. Tell me about getting high with your dad, because I use with my mom a lot. And my mom passed away from an overdose. So
yeah.
talk to us about that, about what it was like using with your dad, because there's a lot of people out there, more than you would expect, that got high with their parents.
Yeah.
They just don't talk about it, you know.
Well, I don't know what it is, man, but, this, like, drugs has always been in my life, since I was a kid, since forever.
Yep.
And being around my dad, and, like, it was like a way we were showing love to each other. Like, this is my last little bit of heroin, I love you so much that I'm going to give it to you. And it's just crazy to think.
It's like trauma bonding.
Yeah. And we were, like, fighting people together, ripping people off together. We're ripping and running together.
Committing crimes together, the whole thing.
I love my dad. And ever since I was a little kid, I've always known that I love my dad more than anybody else in the world, And it's like he was my hero always. And since a little kid looking up to him, somewhere in my subconscious, it was like, he's cool. Like, I want to get high to be cool like him, And even playing with toys as a kid, like I had a little Dalmatian, was my toy named Spotty, and I would be like, all right, you guys, I'm gonna be over here and I'm gonna be mad, and you guys tell me not to use drugs, and they would have their action figures and they'd tell me, yeah, Spotty, don't do. I'm like, leave me alone, no. And that's so crazy to think of, ain't it?
Wow.
So
yeah. Wow.
So getting high with my dad, we were just ripping and running together, Like, he showed me a lot of the ways of, like, how you stay out of trouble or where to get dope and, like, what to be aware of and stuff, and showed me the ropes of the streets, and then I was off and running. Jeez. And I actually, man, it's actually crazy to think of, man. I love my dad so much. You're sitting there talking about it. Just, I honestly look back on it with, like, fond memories. Like, we had a good time together. We were having fun, and that was, like, the only time we've ever spent together.
I was going to say, when did the fun stop? Because let's see, 21, you said you started really, like, pedal to the metal?
Yeah.
So when did the fun part stop?
Okay, the fun part stopped once, like, you start getting a habit, and you're sick without it, and then, like, which is cool, I understand.
Did you know that was coming?
Yeah, I was prepared for that.
Like, you knew that you were going to be physically ill without the heroin.
I was completely prepared for that, and then I knew it, but once, like my dad started, like, to steal stuff from me and stuff like that, and then that just, to me, was just, like, so, like, I know you could never have been a dad to me, like, because you got your own problems and stuff, but you could be, like, my dog, like, my homeboy,
right.
And, like, we could be solid with each other, so that just, like, blew me back, like, man.
What was he stealing?
He would steal dope from me, or, like, razors, or, like, money, or I'd give him, like, I got $100, Dad, here, get us some dope, like, you know what I'm saying, and then he'd give me, like, a dime bag out of the, I'm like, what? Like, we're supposed to be riding together, man. He's not gonna like hearing this either, but, man, that's the truth. Then we got to a point where, like, we were on bikes together. This is the last time I was ripping and running, getting high with my dad. We were on bikes together, and we crossed 8 Mile from Detroit into Macomb County, into Warren, over on 8 and Van Dyke. We on mountain bikes. I'm actually editing a music video on my phone, because we were shooting my music videos on my phone at that time. We were all fucked up. And then I'm like this looking down, and all of a sudden a light, we just copped. I just got an 8 ball of ice to go sell. And a cop hits a spotlight on me and my dad. And like I looked up, looked back, and seen it was a cop. And I had that stuff on me, so I grabbed it out of my pocket and I tucked it. I stood up on the bike and tucked it under my nuts and took off. Like I knew they were on me. We just jaywalked, so that gives them the right to stop us now and search us.
Yeah, I mean they'll figure something out.
Yeah, so I knew what time it was. Put it on, and I took off. But through standing up, like on the bike and crotching the dope, I flipped off the bike, and smashed. And my dad was right on the side of me. Check this out. Like when I had my dreads, I used to have a bandana around my forehead. Earlier, before we left to go cop, I had a blue piece of construction paper, and me and this girl I was with had a little bit of dope. And my dad was like, I'm sick, I need something. So what I did was split the dope up, put it in the construction paper, ripped it in half, made a fold for him, blue fold. You don't ever see that, a blue construction paper fold.
Yep.
Gave it to him, and I had one, and I put mine in my bandana.
Yep.
Okay, so I still got it in my bandana as I'm on the ground, flipped off the bike. And they're like, where's the dope? Where's the dope? I don't got any dope, man. I was just scared. My dad comes up, and he knows he's going to get searched too, and he throws the dope on me. He throws the dope on me in a blue fold. And he comes up and he goes, oh, my son, oh, my God, is he okay? All this. And at the time, I'm not registering it. I'm just like, why is he making this such scene? Like, I fell on the bike. It's not a big deal. I'm not a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So it was just to play it off so he could get close to me and throw the dope on me, so that he wouldn't get caught with it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they go, we found some dope. And I'm thinking they didn't find any dope because I got it crotched, And they're like, we found a blue folded dope.
And you got the other fold.
And I got the other fold in my bandana. They didn't take my bandana off. And I'm thinking like, a blue folded dope. It's just so much is happening at once. I'm not registering it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm just trying to, and they're like, we know you crotched something. The cop goes in literally under my underwear with his hand. I'm like, man, stop touching my dick, man. Stop touching my dick, stop. I'm like wiggling out of it. He goes in there 3 times and then finds the ice, pulls out the 8 ball meth, puts it on the thing. But he was alerted to it because of the dope in the blue fold. And then once I go to jail. My dad gets out of it. He doesn't get into any trouble. You know what I'm saying? I go to jail, and then I read in my paperwork that the blue fold, and I see the pictures of it in my PSI. And then I start getting, I'm like, this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no loyalty in the streets. Nobody's got your fucking back.
There's not.
You know what I'm saying? My own dad.
Even with blood, no, dude. It was the same thing with my mom. I'd rip her off, she'd rip me off, fucking back and forth. You know what I mean? Like it's just how it goes when you're out there. It doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Parents, uncles, aunts, doesn't matter one bit.
Yeah.
How many numbers did you say you have?
Numbers?
How many times have you been to prison?
Oh, so I'm only an A prefix, which if you know what that means that like I've been to prison 3 times technically, but I went back for violations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like I got out on parole, went back to DRC, which isn't around anymore, but you used to be able to, like, you could be in the streets and that day you go back to prison. You could be in prison by that night instead of going to jail and waiting. They had a place called DRC, and I did 13 months there doing programs over and over. And so I went 3 times.
What's the craziest shit you saw when you were in prison, or some of the craziest shit you saw?
Some of the craziest shit I saw in prison? Check this out. All right, so we're in RSAT in DRC, which is on 6 Mile and Ryan in Detroit. And everybody in there was getting high. And they were all sharing one needle to shoot up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, they were shooting up Suboxone. They had dope sometimes, ice sometimes, but mostly Suboxone runs the joint.
Yep.
And in order to not get caught, because they'll come and piss test you. We're in a drug program. This is not only are we the rejects of society, because we're felonies and prisoners, and we all, criminals.
Yeah.
They took the drug addict criminals and all put them in one building, to do a drug program. So we're the drug addict criminal rejects of society.
Okay.
So we're thinking of all these ways how to not get caught. And I seen people in there, like if they call you for a drug test, you got to they would take a staff, like a CO's glove, okay, that was in the trash, take it out, fill the fingers up with water, cut them off, make little balloons.
Yep.
And then you'd have to keep a balloon on you and like some Vaseline or something in case they came around, oh, they're doing drug tests, everybody be freaking out. You'd have to shove the balloon of water up your ass and go in the dry cell, because if they watch you piss, but if
Yeah.
you say, "Oh, I got a shy bladder, I literally can't be in front of you," they legally have to give you a dry cell, so you can shit out the balloon of water, open it up, put the water in there, let it register as clean, peel the sticker back, look, see that it registered as clean, then you piss on top of it, because the lines ain't gonna go away. It already says all clean, and you piss on top of it and show them. That was some crazy shit I seen.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So on instant cups, I didn't know that.
yeah,
I didn't know you could put water in first.
yeah.
It would register as clean, and then you could piss on top of it.
Yeah, I seen people doing that. Yeah,
Damn, I didn't know that.
that's crazy. And or they were throwing it up.
I mean, that's like a solid way to beat an instant test.
Yeah,
Like really.
yeah. You drink so much water and you throw it up. There's all kinds of things we do to get out of the drug test. What I did was you drink so much water, if you're literally drinking like a Mountain Dew bottle filled with water, like you're just filling it up, drinking. I stood in the shower one time when they're coming around drug testing, head in the shower button like this, with my mouth open, like pushing the button to make it keep going, drinking it. You're
water.
peeing out just straight water, and that's how I beat mine. But I seen them doing all kinds of stuff, and they're throwing it up, all that shit.
Any brutal fights or
Man, I got in so many fights, dude. I got in 5 fights my last 5 months in there, cause like I said, you could go straight from the street to the joint back when DRC was open,
Yep.
and so I still had a habit. I was on methadone, and they brought me to straight to DRC.
Oh, fuck.
So I got in 5 fights, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I got in 5 fights my last 5 months. And so I was in there stealing TVs, like, whatever, to try to sell it for dope in there.
Because you're gonna get sick.
Because I can't be sick, right?
That was always my biggest fear, was going to prison and getting hooked on drugs.
And then being sick in
Yeah,
there.
and being sick, because then you're gonna start doing fucked up shit. Then you're
Right.
gonna get your ass beat, fucking
Yeah,
over and over and over.
For sure. You can't win them all either, too, and they got numbers
no,
people to jump
fuck
you in
no.
there. But yeah, I seen.
So was every one of those 5 fights for you doing something?
Yeah, every one of those fights were because I was on some bullshit, getting high in there.
So you go to steal TV out of someone's cell.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that?
All right, I'll tell you how it went. Me and my boy Chuck, shout out to Chuck, that's my homeboy. We were like on straight bullshit the whole time in there together. Walking around with knives, whatever we had to do, because we were getting high every day regardless. And then we knew the ways to beat the test too. So me and Chuck, this guy goes out the yard, and then we get word like, oh, that dude Country went and got a whole Suboxone strip and a sack of tobacco because he had money like that. And me and Chuck were like, bet, we're on it. So and everybody seeing us knows what time we're on. They see us like around there like,
Yeah,
oh man, these
yeah.
guys,
Right.
and you can lock yourself in your room. And they got a button to pop it open. You got keys to your room and stuff in DRC.
Okay.
It's like a level 2 security.
Okay.
So we're sitting outside of his door and we're like we're playing cards and stuff, but he knows we're out there and he knows we're on some bullshit. So we get this guy named Spike. I'm a Maniac Land Disciple, MLD. So we're bros with like the GDs and we rock with the BOAs sometimes. They were rocking with us at that time at least. And Cobras, we all mobbed together. So we got this older GD named Spike. He was like 70-something years old. He's unsuspecting old white dude, We're like, if you go knock on his door, he's not going to think. And I'm going to be standing right on the side. But he's one of our bros, so he did it with us. Just the old dude. He knocked on their door, and then the dude answered it. And as soon as he cracked the door open, I slid in there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to need that. We're going to need that shit you got on yard, And then he tried to, like, just bulldoze me out the door, like, just get out straight out. But Chuck came right in behind me, and Chuck was, the biggest dude on the yard at that time. I'm not, like, some huge dude or nothing, but Chuck had the size, and I had the heart. Chuck came in with me, and he pushed him back in. He's like, if you try to do that shit again, I'm blowing your shit out. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, come off that Suboxone you got off the yard. He's like, I don't got it, man. I swear I didn't get any. So I'm like, all right, well, we're going to need this TV then. Because we got to get straight.
Right.
And he had his combination lock on it. We're like, take it off. He sit there, took it off. And I got my blues on, like blue pants and the blue button up. Mm-hmm. And I put the TV in my pants like this, put my shirt over it. So on camera, when I walked out, you know what I'm saying?
Tell.
I don't have a TV. I'm not walking out with a TV because
No.
that's instant, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So walked out. And then what we did was, you can't leave your unit either. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay in your unit. You have to wait till the other prison I told you about, that was a level 1 where you could just walk outside whenever. This one, you have to wait till they call moving because it's level 2. So, but we would sneak out of our unit anyway and go in other people's unit, which is a huge no-no, man. They're snatching you up if they catch you,
Going
but
to the
there's
hole for sure.
Yeah, and there's so many different prisoners though, and different staff work different places. If you can just get out into another unit, you're good. So me and him both went out, had to go up a whole stairwell and go to the unit on top of us. So we did it though. We got in there,
Jesus.
and because we had a TV for sale and the dope was upstairs, and we wanted to get straight, you know. So we're walking around the unit. As soon as they seen it, they're like, these motherfuckers just came in our unit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, they're crazy. We're walking around like, TV for sale, TV for sale. But nobody wants to fuck with us because they know we're on bullshit. One guy is like, oh, okay, I need a TV. I got you. What do you guys want? You want like a piece? Yeah, we're like, give us like a half strip or whatever. He's like, I know your dad telling me. Like, he used to get high with my dad or whatever. So he's like kind of trusting me at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I got you, man. Can we get it right now? He's like, yeah. Gives it to us. As soon as he walks out the room, me and Chuck look at each other like, he ain't getting that TV. You know what I'm saying? We just did it. And then we fucking went.
Shocked him on the TV.
Yep. And went and sold it to somebody in our unit. So we double sold it. But
What the fuck?
this other guy that's in our unit, he's like, nah, you got to give us a TV. So we actually got double the shit. And then we went out to yard and we seen the dude and he's like, what's up with it? We're like, got popped by the CO. They took it, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, you're on some bullshit. All right, well, what the fuck you want to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Because I way rather fight you than pay you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
if you beat my ass, I'll take an ass beating
Yeah.
over paying you.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what type of time I was on. Or you store some shit out, don't pay it back. This is all, do not follow these rules when you go to prison because this is the way to not move in
This is
there.
terrible advice.
Yeah, this is, you know, I don't suggest, and plus my bros, I was in a gang in there too, you know, and my bros were giving me violations, you know what I'm saying? They're like, you know, you sit there and you take a punishment, they beat your ass, you get like mouth shots, they punch you in the mouth, all that shit. I'm getting violations from my bros.
Not body shots?
Well, I've never seen a violation get body shots, but like you can go like just sit down and get a few mouth shots or do PT, like where you just work out. Like one time they made me work out till I threw up over doing some bullshit like that. Like I didn't think it was possible. Like I'm not gonna throw up, man. And they really made me throw up
So
doing like.
not only are you worrying about the COs getting caught by them, but your gang can also implement discipline of some sort.
Yeah. And they were on my head about it. That's one of the big no-nos being in a gang. You're not supposed to do any drugs, any addictive substances, you know what I'm saying? So, but there are, you know, gang members that do it. You know, you got to think like we're all criminals.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, you just have to deal with the consequences from it. And my bros stuck by my side until I got clean. You know what I'm saying? And then the ones that didn't, you know, they just kept fucking their life up. I kind of lost contact with them. They just fucking went on to wherever, and it's just like, dude, I'm on my right path in life now, you know?
Right.
We were together all at a time, riding together when we were fucking up and doing bad, but I'm trying to better my life right now, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do have some bros that are on the same thing as me, and we're all like moving towards better shit and bettering our lives and stuff like that. And they luckily I had those type of people that were on me to say, what the fuck are you doing, that cared about me, you know, because the people like my actual family, like my dad and stuff, was just getting high with me.
Right.
So yeah. And then what's crazy is once I got clean and I like decided like I'm staying clean, and I started making my music again. I started making my music like I first blew up off being on Jerry Springer, you know. So
what was that like, being on Jerry Springer?
Well,
what was it for? Or like, what was the storyline?
I made a song called Everybody Getting Ratchet.
Okay.
So, and Jerry Springer's a ratchet show. And through like knowing people and stuff, they heard my song, called me like, hey, would you want to go perform that song on Jerry Springer? You know, I'm like, what? You know, just make sure it's a legit call. And they're like, yo, we really like your song. We think it's fitting for the direction our show is heading in. You know, we want to use it. This is how they presented it to me. We want to make it our new theme song. You know, honestly. So
damn.
I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, paycheck time.
Yeah, so they're like, we want to show you we're legit. Go on the website. Look at this. Look at this. They're like, oh, you could type in the number, and I made sure it was all legit. Okay, cool. So now they want, like, to fly me out, and I'm like, well, I want to do a storyline, too. I don't want to just perform the song. You know, let's do a storyline. They're like, well, what are you thinking? And we came up with a little story together. I mean, everybody knows Jerry Springer's fake right now. I'm not exposing nothing.
Yeah, right.
So we did, like, me and my baby mama did a thing where we had like my number one fan there, and I hooked up with her allegedly. Okay. But I never hooked up with her, you know what I'm saying? And they fought on stage and whatever. And then me and my baby mom made up. Oh, you know, and that was it. But I performed the song when I first came out. Jerry Springer's like, we first want to welcome our first guest, rapper, since he's bringing drama into his relationship. Let's welcome Johnny Jermani to the show. Yeah, and then
performed.
Yeah, and that was before I even started getting high. That was like right before I started getting high. That's on YouTube too. You can look it up. Johnny Jermani on Jerry Springer.
That had to have been like one of your bigger
That
performances
was
at
that
the
was
time. That
my
was
like
probably
breakout
big.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started rapping with Afro Man. I got a contact with him. Then I developed my name, Johnny Germani, my brand of
Afro
that.
Man.
Yeah.
The one song I
Because I got
know.
high.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
got high. Yeah.
It's just
Which is
I'm
ironic.
trying to think. God damn, did he have any other singles or
Colt
anything that?
45 and two zigzags.
Yeah, but
Baby, that's all
it's
we
the same
need.
fucking song. It's the
No,
same.
it's two different songs.
Is
Because
it?
I got high in Colt 45.
Or
Yeah.
is that two different
Yeah.
songs? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And then
those
he's
were his.
and then
Okay.
he's got Palmdale. And like he's got a few, songs. Well, I'm biased because I was performing with him.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's a celebrity.
but he's paid, man, because his songs are in movies, bro.
Yeah.
So he's got
Yeah.
a check forever from like
Yeah. He's
Paramount
getting
and
royalties for
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, that's the way to go. But yeah, so that was my little bit of first buzz was me and him. I was opening up for him. Then once I got on the Jerry Springer show, you got to think that show's on all over the world.
Yeah. Back
So
then, that shit was hot.
yeah, and this is when he was still alive and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. And every time they would air the episode, when they first aired it, my phone was just like ring, ring, ding, 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 ding. I had to turn it off because it was so much notifications. Everybody
Yeah.
found me
Oh,
immediately.
yeah.
Johnny Jermani, type me up. So then after that, then my name started buzzing, and then like we got some. Do you listen to rap?
Yeah.
Okay, I swear Vezo. Well, he's really big in Detroit. I did a song with him.
Okay.
Did a song with Cash Kid. He's big in Detroit, and I'm
Yeah.
like one after another banging them out. Then I started getting high, fell off. After that, I was still making music while I was getting high, but it was,
Wasn't the
you're really
same.
you really got to focus on being a drug addict when you're a drug addict,
Yeah.
especially on heroin and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I got clean, and then I made my comeback song after getting clean. It was really nice. It's called "Switched on Me." It's like nice visual. Shout out to Matt Santia. He's the director, the genius behind that video. But it looks really nice. Boom. And once I started doing that, I got linked up with the Cypher Society. And what's crazy is like I just seen that they were doing like ciphers together, and somebody hooked me up with them. I went there. All these guys, they're in recovery too. A lot of the guys that are in the cipher. So our paths crossed. We were on the same mission. Like we both got clean and started following our dreams,
Cool.
making
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there's like a few guys that I really related with, and we were on the same mission. And we started making recovery songs together. Did a recovery song called Relapse or Recovery. It was in a cipher. It got 1.4 million views.
Damn.
So, I'm really hoping to help people and share my message through that. And
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully they can get clean too,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
If you could do a whole album like that, that'd be dope.
Tell Muncie that. Shout out to Muncie.
People really, yeah, you don't hear a whole lot of that. I mean, Eminem talks about it obviously a lot, but a lot of the mainstream rappers, they just glorify drugs.
Right.
They don't talk about quitting.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of concept rap too. Like I do like, from this angle, this is what a drug addict would be like if he was sick, or this is what I did like a Trump supporter would rap like, and got 500,000 views on that one. So it's from different angles. So some of the stuff like I'm not rapping isn't like about my life at that time, but I'll do different concepts just to like this angle and this angle just to like try to challenge myself,
And you have lived experience to work with too.
Right,
I mean,
right.
You've been through some shit, so
Yeah, for sure.
that helps a lot.
Right. And I can rap about like stories I've been through too,
you're not faking it.
Right, yeah, absolutely not. That's what I said like, at the beginning of this podcast. There's a fine line in between being like a drug dealing gangster and a desperate drug addict because you're hand in hand doing a lot of the same things.
Right.
You guys are both running from the police. You guys are both selling drugs. You guys are both living in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You guys both have guns or whatever, So yeah, man.
Outside of the blue construction paper thing your dad did to you, was that the most fucked up thing that he did to you? Was there more? Did you ever get him on anything, or was there
I never did nothing like that specifically
crazy
to
like
him.
that to him?
Trying to think.
I just know how it can get.
Yeah, man. I mean, just stuff like stealing my dope and stuff like that. And then like we did this thing where like I went to jail. Like he would hook up with one of my girlfriends. So I'm like, okay, motherfucker, and I'll hook up with his girlfriend. We were doing that
Damn.
shit to each other a little bit. I wish my dad would get clean though, man. He's like 50 something years old, 55 years old.
That takes a toll on your body too. I mean,
Yeah.
God, doing that your whole life.
Yeah.
It was sad. I know I worked in corrections for 2 years after
Did
I got
you?
sober. Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
know it was fucking nuts.
You doing counseling or something?
No, I was CO and
You were a
then
CO?
security, and then I
So you
was
don't
the
got any
unit
felonies
unit
then?
manager. I had they're expunged now, but they weren't then.
Oh,
I
okay.
had a couple judges that wrote me reference letters,
Oh,
and
wow.
they hired me.
That's
So
awesome, dude.
it was it was crazy, but it was sad to watch like the 60, 70, 80-year-old dudes come in that just their entire lives
Yeah.
they never stopped.
Right.
They never stopped. Career criminals,
Yeah.
you know,
That's what I'm saying.
and like, but there's on the other side of that, like, what can you do? What can you
Right.
really do? Like, I couldn't stop my mom. You know what I
Right.
mean? She already died.
Right.
There's nothing I could do. Set an example,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
mean, I know he tells me all the time, he's like, you're like the dad and I'm like the kid, especially now because I'm clean and I'm trying to show him, like, I just got a new truck, I'm like
Right.
really like doing it, like really being successful, especially with my music is like reaching so many people. We keep hitting million to million views every time. And this is like something famous people do, And
Yeah.
I got a good job. I'm taking care of myself. I pay for everything myself. And I'm like, Dad, you can do this too. He's not dumb. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's a smart
No,
guy.
fuck no.
He could get it
We normally
together.
aren't. No.
Just because you're 50 something years old, and I don't hate him for anything that he's done with all that stuff. I understand, man. Being a drug addict, the stuff
Yeah.
that you do,
You
I don't,
understand
I
it.
don't hold none of that against him. I just want him to get clean,
Yeah.
and come do this with me.
Yeah, because he could really work with you
Yeah,
straight up.
a lot of people like meeting him. My buddy Beard Music, uh, the guy you met with the beard.
Yeah.
Shout out to Beard Music. He's got a lot of dope stuff too. But he met my dad. And I remember he was so interested in meeting my dad, like wanted to know the story behind where I came from, because
Yeah.
he knows my music and stuff. And my buddy Nick was there too. It's Nick with the V, NVCK. He met my dad, and that's where I record all my stuff at, is Nick's house. A lot of solid guys, man, but they all wanted to see my dad, and see where the stuff I talk about my music came from.
I mean, shit, I'd be interested too, honestly,
Yeah.
to see him and shit, interview him, just
Yeah.
because I can only imagine the type of stories he has, but he's still, like, heavy in it. We normally don't do people who are, like, heavy.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
Just, because
He would have to be clean to come on.
clean-ish,
Okay.
something.
At
Like,
least attempting, yeah.
I mean, yeah, California sober or something.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
Okay.
because, now you know where I'm at, and we got equipment.
Yeah. What is California sober exactly?
People will, like, drink once in a while and, like, smoke weed once in a while, but
Okay.
they quit, like, the meth, or they quit the heroin, or they quit the cocaine,
Okay,
or they
okay.
quit the fucking whatever.
That's like my boy Ozzy. He Ozzy, fuck nah. He smokes weed or drinks or whatever, but he don't do none of that.
Yeah.
He's being a responsible dad.
Demi Lovato, like, really started it. She came out and announced that she was California sober, and I remember at the time, I think I had like 2 years, and I was raised around, like, old timers who, like, taught me the right way to do things, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, California sober? But again, now that my mom's passed, it's like, I wish she was California sober, because she'd still
Yeah.
be here,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that is. Do you have a message you would like to deliver to anyone out there who's still struggling, going through it, wants to get clean, they can't, anything like that?
Well, I just suggest that you give it a chance, because really, once I just took that idea and was like, I got forever to get high. I could get high whenever I want.
Yeah.
Let me just see what it's like to be clean and actually give real life, like talking about like building your credit, getting a house, getting a vehicle, taking care of something, being financially stable.
Yep.
Give that a chance, and then if you figure out like, oh, whatever, I don't like this, I can't do it or whatever.
Always go back.
You can go back to getting high, so once I gave it a real shot and I seen how successful I can be and like taking care of myself, I'm like, I like this. I feel way more comfortable doing this
Yeah.
than that little high you get for like just a little bit, and you're high and then that shit goes away, and like, oh, you're sick. Most of the time when you're getting high, you're sick, you're in jail, you're trying to, you're ripping people off, you know. Like, just give it a chance, you know. Try to listen to some music. Those, I know there's a lot of artists out there that are, you know, struggling with addiction and stuff too. People need to hear your message, man. I like sharing that message through my music.
Yeah.
Got some recovery songs, man. Please just, you know, give it a shot. You know, I want to be a shining beacon of hope for my community and give back to people. You know what I'm saying?
That's great. And a city like Detroit, which is, I mean, I don't know how it is nowadays, but you know, it does come with a stigma. Obviously, Detroit, it's rough, right?
Yeah.
That, at least that's people who don't come from there. I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
You know, like to me, when I hear Detroit, I think like it's fucking rough.
Right.
It's rough out there, and so for you to really like show people there's a better way to live
Yeah.
in that area is super fucking dope.
Yeah, for sure. I
Um,
drive around and I pass out free T-shirts and water and socks and stuff to all the addicts that are still struggling right now, and they know who I am. They're familiar with it. They're like, "You're Johnny Jermani," you know. And I drive down there. I used to sleep in a bando in 7 and Van Dyke, and all the guys down there still know me and stuff. So I like to show them that you can actually change.
Any of those dudes still there from when you were sleeping down in the bandos and shit? Same guys?
I'm sure they are. I'm not like.
Haven't run into any of them, though?
I mean, a couple of them I have passing out shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Just one or two, but it's such a chaotic life. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
You know, you
it's
could
fucking
be anywhere. They
nuts.
could be in another state getting
Yeah.
high or something.
Yeah.
But to what you said, Detroit, you know, is pretty rough. But after like being there, you know, it kind of feels like home.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel comfortable
You
there.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know the city.
Yeah. Thinking of another state in my head though, like LA or something where it's dangerous. I'm sure it's like just as dangerous. Detroit, LA,
Yeah.
Chicago, New York. They're all like the same, you know, it can get crazy. But think about the other ones, it just sounds crazy because it's something, the unknown is a motherfucker.
Well, I mean, Columbus, dude, there's parts of Columbus that are fucked up.
Oh, I
Like,
seen it being here.
bad.
I seen, yeah.
Bad. Like the west side, specifically the hilltop. The east side is, well, they're gentrifying it now, but it used to be fucking terrible. So I think it's probably an everywhere thing, not just,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
Detroit or Chicago or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell of a story. If you want to plug your music one more time before
Yeah.
we sign off.
Johnny Jermani, that's JOHNNY, JERMANI. I'm with a group called the Cypher Society. We do ciphers every 2 weeks. We got a lot of dope artists that are in our catalog, and we're really like blowing up right now. Go follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you know, whatever. And then shout out to like OZ100 and Junior the Demigod. We got a lot of dope people working with us right now. Shout out to Danny G Beats. Yeah, check out my videos. Johnny Jermani Switched on Me is one of my dope ones. Yeah, that's about it.
Right on. Thanks for coming out, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, cool.